photos. The man, the myth, the mustache, now out in Las Vegas. He's in a QB battle as we have Jeremy Fowler opening up the Fowler Files on SportsCenter AM. What can you tell us about either Minshew's status or overall the quarterback battle?
Yeah, Randy, O'Connell and Minshew in the spring went tit for tat, went after it. O'Connell probably has a slight edge right now based on coming into year two being more vocal. I'm told he's acting like a starting quarterback, and Davante Adams loves him, which always helps certainly with the brownie points. But Minshew has come in, shown some moxie. He's already got the offense. He's changing plays at the line of scrimmage, I'm told. He's been good at the off-script stuff. So it would be not surprising at all if both quarterbacks got a start in a preseason game. Maybe they go O'Connell first game, Minshew the second game, depending on how the first couple weeks of camp go, and they'll get a legitimate chance. But we have ourselves a real battle in Las Vegas.
And you have said, you walked into the studio trolling me, a Raiders fan, and you said that it's quite a handsome backup quarterback. And to that I would say, all he needs is an opportunity.
That's right.
He's never thrown to Davante Adams.
That's right. He's got the best job in the NFL because he can start games. Yeah. He can back up a quarterback, makes a ton of money, got a great personality, he's expressive.
Taking a lot of slings and arrows because the transition to the Eagles is as follows.
Okay, so I really wanted to talk about this because I made a video previously, I guess like weeks ago at this point, about the Raiders, and it was about Dak Prescott. I think it was Dan Orlovsky was talking about that the Raiders should make a play to get Dak Prescott. And I said, no, I disagree with that it's not worth the amount of money that they would have to pay Dak. And, and I said Minshew is a great, competent quarterback that I think that they could have a lot of success with. And to my surprise, the Raiders fans, first off, bashed Dak Prescott. Apparently not a single fan, and I had a million comments on that video, none of them wanted Dak Prescott. I mean, they were all like, no, which I thought was interesting, especially now that it's coming out that you're going to have to pay Dak like $60, maybe $65 million, and I just don't think that's worth it at that point for the Raiders. But I was all high on Minshew, and to my surprise, a lot of people and the fans came out and said O'Connell. They were really high on, AOC, Aidan O'Connell. And I found that also kind of surprising to a degree as well. And so I think the Raiders are in a very unique situation. The one thing that I wanted to say real fast off about Minshew is with Shane Steichen. Now, this is a little different because Shane Steichen is a brilliant offensive mind. That's indisputable. But his first year as Colts head coach, and obviously I know there was some of the games were with Richardson, their original quarterback, but the team's offense improved across many metrics, including points per game, yards per game, and total offensive touchdowns, despite key injuries to Richardson and running back Jonathan Taylor. Now, some of that is going to be on Shane Steichen's brilliance, because we know that really great offensive minds can still make backup level quarterbacks work and win. But some of that is also on Minshew. And that's why Minshew is in he's such a unique backup starter, backup/starter quarterback, because he's obviously had a lot of success. He's had the whole Minshew madness. He's a personality. He's all of these things. And that actually kind of does a disservice to O'Connell, because if O'Connell struggles or even struggles for a half, you're going to have people wanting Minshew. Not to mention, unless Aidan O'Connell really blows everyone out during camp and all that, and just throughout the practices and games in general, you're going to have a divided locker room. You're going to have some of the locker room say, put Minshew out there. So it's tough, because we've seen Minshew have true success as a starter, like without a doubt. And they were a play away from making the playoffs under Gardner Minshew. And the reason why they didn't make the playoffs in that last play against the Texans was not on Minshew. I mean, it really wasn't on Minshew. He did everything he could in that moment. I'm not acting like Minshew is, baby Patrick Mahomes here or anything like that. So don't get that twisted. But he's not this bona fide scrub. He's not this guy that you say, okay, we don't have to worry about. He's just a backup quarterback. Sure, he can win us a game or two, but he's nothing. Like, he is a legitimate threat in that locker room to not only win over coaches, but win over players and fans. We already know fans love the backup quarterback, right? So if O'Connell comes out and he drops 2 games in a row or something, or is playing a very bad first half and he throws a couple interceptions, we already know the fans are going to be screaming for Minshew. That happens every stadium, every franchise that doesn't have a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen. So when you have this kind of toss-up between a quarterback, when you have someone like a Minshew, it can only be magnified. It only has the potential to kind of spiral in a lot of ways. So to me, this is on the Raiders to get very, very clear what they're looking for and what they want. And they have to be, if they pick O'Connell to be the starting quarterback, it is O'Connell is our starting quarterback. Not only is he the starting quarterback, but he is the future of our team. It's not, it's a race, we're going to see what happens. Because again, when you have that indecisiveness, then the locker room has that indecisiveness. Then you do have some players saying, we want Aidan O'Connell, we want Gardner Minshew. And then they don't see eye to eye, and things can just get kind of rocky very quickly. So, but I think the Raiders are in an interesting situation either way, because I think O'Connell, right, he's got the power of potential on his side, because you've only seen so much with O'Connell. And with Minshew, he has the power of, well, look what I've been able to do in the past. Look what I've been able to do despite perfect circumstances. I've been able to win in less than optimal situations. Clearly, I'm a pretty good quarterback. Give me a good situation, and then look and see what I can do. And it's a fascinating prospect. It really, really is. So I think no matter who starts for the Raiders, I don't think they need to lose too much sleep about it, because I think both quarterbacks are more than capable of getting the job done. But I guess the real question is have we already seen the ceiling of Gardner Minshew? Do we already know exactly what he is, despite what I just said about the various circumstances? And does O'Connell truly have this potential that they're just waiting to be unlocked? Because it seems like the Raiders fans are super high on O'Connell. They believe that he can be a legitimate, bona fide starter in the NFL, that he will be, legit, that there's no need to look for any other quarterback. O'Connell's the guy. He is the future. Let's go. And it's just really interesting. So I'm really fascinated to see how this all unfolds. But to me, the coaching staff has to get this right. They have to get the messaging right to the media, because otherwise the media becomes a circus. Because then again, O'Connell doesn't play too well in a game, and then they interview him. What has Minshew been saying? Has there been any whispers about Minshew starting? And then they ask the head coach that, and then it just gets all messy. Devontae, they ask him, hey, well, O'Connell overthrew you a couple times. Like, do you think it would be smart for coach to start Minshew next game? And it just gets so rocky so quickly. So to me, the coaches have to set the precedent right away. And as soon as, if it's Minshew's a starter, O'Connell's a starter, wherever they go, that is the starter. This is the situation. And don't fall prey to making changes at halftime. That only messes things up even more. That almost never goes well ever. So hopefully they're just smart. They take a patient approach. They take a long-term approach, right? And they're not thinking just short-term. And then I think under those circumstances, the Raiders, could have a lot of success and surprise some people. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Who do you think should start, Minshew or O'Connell? And should the Raiders be thinking beyond those two quarterbacks and potentially into, say, a Dak Prescott or maybe someone else? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.